I participated in TESTA because my program was coming up for review in the autumn, and it was a very nice way to prepare for the review. So to get a sense of what the students felt and where we needed to make some changes in the program itself. Painless. It was good. I mean, the process is very simple from the point of view of the user. You have a short initial discussion. We had a series of focus groups with the students, and then the TESTA people do everything for you. After a little while, you get a nicely formatted report. What was interesting about the report for me was that as a program leader, I don't have kind of detail level information about each and every course in the same way as an outsider will. So the first thing that was really striking for me was that outsider view of the whole program, and then the other thing that really struck me was that there was a nice bit of good news. The variety of assessments came in for some commendation. So we got good news out of this. It was also interesting to get a sense of what the students wanted. You know, the kind of concrete suggestions that come out for what students want to see more of, or get more detail at, or get more variety of. So, for example, the variety of feedback, like the verbal feedback, in discussion, tutorial, we've put in a lot more of that as a response to the TESTA. So ongoing feedback, rather than concentrating it all around particular items of assessment, it's much more iterative in the lead up to a piece of assessment, where it's subject to conversation. So it's kind of we've brought more feedback now into the tutorial setting, rather than make it retrospective after somebody's handed in a piece of assignment. The main change in my program is going to be around iterative feedback. So we've put up a set of guidelines that are going to be applied for every single course, to include iterative feedback for every item of assessment, so that all feedback looks forward. Not iterative, ipsative. The ipsative feedback rather than iterative. It is iterative in the sense that we have formative, we incorporate formative assessment into the whole thing, but in terms of that's probably the biggest change. The second one is that we are going to have a bit more standardization of the assignment sheets, where every single assignment comes with a little sheet saying, you know, here's what we need you to do, here are some resources for that, and here's how we are going to mark this, and here's what your mark is going to mean. So that all of those assessment sheets are going to be a little bit more standardized, not like cut from the same cloth, every single one of them, but so that students know roughly what to expect for every single item of assessment that they get. And I think the final thing I could mention here is also that we've mapped out a little bit more when our deadlines cluster. There's no helping, they cluster. Nobody's going to volunteer to have a deadline in the middle of term and have students ignore their course after that. So there will be clustering at the end of each term, but we are trying to make that a bit more manageable by thinking a bit more about deadlines for drafts. Like, when is a deadline, is a draft deadline, as opposed to the real deadline for the final thing. We put in intermediate deadlines for peer review, for example, and map them out a little bit more than we did before the TESTA report came into our lives.